welcome to the Second Win Boxing Media. I'm your host, Rashid Hammond, and alongside,
it's your boy, Mr. Hit the Like Button, Caesar Fantastic.
ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very special guest in the building, ladies and gentlemen. I remember when I stopped fighting, right? And I happened to cut the TV on, and I look on TV and I see a fellow fighter. You know, one thing about us, man, we are this thing of boxing is it's a lifetime membership. I don't care if I ain't seen the brother in 20 years or 30 years. We still brothers and will forever be brothers.
It never goes away.
Never goes away. Ladies and gentlemen, we have no other than Jimmy Lange. How's it going, champ?
Thank you. Shit, I didn't realize it. I just saw the pic. I think I look like the Unabomber. Look, I'm in a fucking...
Man, it's an honor to see you, man. I ain't seen you in a while, but man, it's been
a minute. I've
yes,
been away.
Indeed. Been away, man. And man, listen, man, your name ring bells all the way from Baltimore all the way down to Virginia.
Yeah.
I mean, you had one of the best fan bases I've ever saw in this area. I mean, your fan base was more powerful than a lot of world champions that actually became world champions. You had a cult following, man. What created that, man?
I'll tell you what, a lot of work, a lot of behind the scenes. I was a decent fighter. I was a pretty good fighter, but I wasn't as good a fighter as my fan base.
Yeah.
As you just said, a lot of great fighters don't have the fan base I had. There was a lot of behind the scenes work. My father was always involved, and he ran it. I mean, he ran it well. And he was like P.T. Barnum on a local scale.
Yeah.
You know, he knew how to sell me. I was a product that he knew how to sell. And I think when you're talking fan base, that's everything. I mean, I see great fighters and nobody knows who the hell they are.
Real talk.
Because they don't have the machine behind them. And what are they doing?
Right.
They're in the gym training like they're supposed to be, and they ain't got nobody to do this extra work. And today's 10 times worse than when I was coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's social media, and you got to fucking tweet every time you take a shit.
Man.
and you got to have a machine behind you. You can't do that all yourself.
That's true.
So I had a very good machine behind me. I was going to be a fighter the day I was born, and that's when it started, you know?
Yeah, man, you had you know, without the assistance of social media, man, it was, you know, it's amazing how powerful. And, you know, I forgot about your father too, man. He definitely was very vocal with you and was hands-on with everything, man.
Hey, why don't we also not forget to be honest about it? I was a white guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's half the battle, you know. I get a lot of people that, you know, I talk to and they talk about, oh my gosh, what was it like to be a white guy in an all-black gym? It was easier.
Right.
It was even easier.
Right.
Because these guys took care of me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mean they babied me. They busted my ass.
Right.
But they looked out for me and raised me, you know, and then it's a process. And gyms good gyms have a way of the old guys raise the guys coming up.
Real talk.
And that's how DC was with me, and especially with the, you know, white skin sells tickets. And I'm not getting into all the bullshit that's going on in the world here. I'm talking realistic.
Right.
You know, when we were coming up, everybody wanted a good-looking white fighter.
Right.
You know, you bring in a couple guys out of the garbage can for him to knock out, build his record to 20, 25-0. You get him a title shot.
Yeah. Yeah, you could.
I'm not diminishing my skill because I was a
Yeah,
tough
you was a
motherfucker.
tough dude, man. You was in there. I knew you from the amateurs before. You know what I'm saying? I knew you was you was worthy
Yeah,
of everything that, even with the fan base, even with you being white. But
right.
you know, we didn't see that in the
Yep.
amateurs. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. That wasn't the. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't the niche. Was your skin color to me?
It was
Your
crazy
toughness,
because
man. Your toughness.
it was really a family.
Yeah.
It was a family type of thing. Now, I mean, we may have not liked each other. We may have gotten, rolled around the parking lot,
Right.
but it was still a family,
Right.
you know?
That's real.
So,
So that's
I mean,
supposed to be.
I see guys that I had it out with, you know what I mean? And none of that's remembered. All that's remembered is, hey, man, we shared a ring together.
That's right. That's right. And
It's beautiful.
that's a special bond people don't understand, man. You know, you shared
Right.
the ring with someone. You had to, we both put our lives on the line, and I had to train, literally focus on what you had, your best technique
Mhm.
was, and what was my best technique, what was your weaknesses, what was my weaknesses, etc.
Hey, guess what? Guess what? I dreamed about you for 6 weeks while we was getting ready to fight.
That's real talk, man.
If that ain't if that ain't a bond, I don't know what is. Because you was in my
Exactly, man.
dreams.
That's real talk, man. That's real talk. But what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna pass it on to my partner, man. C's, man. He's gonna ask you a few questions about your career.
Yeah, I want to start at the beginning and ask you, when did you start boxing and what got you into it?
I mentioned earlier I was kind of I was gonna be a fighter the day I was born. My father prayed for a boy because he wanted a fighter.
Mhm.
And I mean, it started early on, introducing me to boxing, so on and so forth. I remember the first time I got in the ring, or I went to an actual gym,
Okay.
and it was called the Olympia Boxing Center in Falls Church, Virginia. And I can remember that. I was 5 years old. I can remember that day. And it's just a whole new world, man. So
Mm.
I went in first. I'm a little kid, First thing I did, I jump in, I jump on the ropes. The guy comes out, hey, get off the rope. I mean, this guy was nasty. His name was Jim Ed Jones.
Mhm.
And it started a life of discipline, kind of
Discipline.
the
Yeah.
discipline. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I mean,
Hmm.
I had discipline in my home, but there's a big difference from discipline in your home and discipline on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you see,
Yeah.
you go in. I mean, you see a mass murderer. He won't talk back to his mama, but he'll go out and kill 3 guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's a big difference. You take the discipline from the home and add it to the discipline in the street.
Mhm.
That's what a
Uh,
boxing gym does for you.
Yep.
yeah. So you say you started at Olympia's. What other gyms were you at?
I went from Olympia. I went to ABC. Fred Smith, who's passed away, but it's Alexandria Boxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was there for a good while. I had my actual first official fight there,
Okay.
and I won. I knocked the guy out in the first round, and then I lost the next 4 fights by first round knockouts.
Oh wow.
I can't remember. I
Wow.
remember one of the guys' name was a hell of a fighter, Julius Newton.
Julius Newton, man Newton.
Knocked me out in the
Yeah.
first round, and
He was a bad boy though.
we were down in Benning Park.
Benny Park, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Julius Newton from Midtown.
I didn't want no more of that motherfucker.
They put you in there with the wolves immediately though. Damn.
Oh man.
It's second,
But
like
it was
second,
good,
third.
man. It was good. It was fun. I mean, it wasn't like, hey, if you had a problem, it was you were the problem.
That's
Ain't
real
nobody had no
talk.
problem. I mean, I was welcomed. I was treated perfect.
Yeah.
So, shit, I ain't got no. The happenstance that I'm a different color, whatever. That was more the public that the public. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
white kid. We're gonna buy this guy. But the the inner boxing, the gyms
we
and stuff.
never,
Nobody gave a shit.
we never
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
okay,
you was one of us, man. That was it, and that was all. You put on the gloves, we all the same.
Yeah.
Now, what was some of your best memories from your amateur career? Like, what would be your best memories?
I was so scared in the amateurs. I mean, I was literally, my knees would be shaking while they was announcing the fight, announcing the fighters. And I hated the amateurs. I used to lie. I think I legitimately won Virginia State a couple of times, but I used to go back to my high school and lie and say, yeah, I won this national golden glove shit. They couldn't look it up. But I hated the amateurs just because of my nerves. I was scared. It wasn't until later when I started to box pro, not to be rude or anything, but I went into some like a fuck it mode, where I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Now I wasn't scared no more.
Yeah.
And that didn't serve me either, because with that attitude, you'd hit a lot more.
Yeah.
So it's it was all laughs, all fun, and I don't have any bad memories. Except the whole fucking thing. I wanted to get out of it, but I love it looking back.
Yeah.
I wasn't I was not a good amateur.
You don't know what spurred on that fuck it mode?
Jose Pepe Correa.
Mm-hmm.
That son of a bitch could have you thinking you can walk through fire. He'd start going back. He'd go back and forth with the Puerto Rican language and the English and the back and forth and making shit up and filthy insults to your opponent. And he got in my fucking head, man. I could do anything with that son of a bitch in my corner.
Right.
Run through a brick wall. Now you work with Pepe, and you also work with Mooney and other trainers, right?
Yeah, I've done a ton of them. Shoot.
How beneficial was that working with a lot of those legendary trainers, and as far as molding your career and you being able to take piece from this guy? No.
The reason you have a trainer is to win fights. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
To help you to win fights. I don't think I had Angelo Dundee. Okay. He's the Vince Lombardi of boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the fact that I can tell a few stories. I'm not sure Angelo Dundee helped me because he couldn't reach me.
Mm-hmm.
He was too big.
Yeah.
He was fucking Angelo Dundee.
Yeah.
He was talking to me, and he just couldn't, like, and he would scream and yell in the corner and get it. He did nothing.
Yeah.
Don Turner, he was another one that is very brutal, just absolute brutal, and he would have me really trying to hurt my opponent and enjoy. He's the one that helped me to learn to invest in the body, and I enjoyed hurting these guys to the body. There was a joy in it, and that he was very valuable because he helped me with the body. That was 4 or 5 fights I was with him. Buddy's one of my best friends, and I love him, but he couldn't reach me in a corner, man. He just same thing over and over. Pepe, shit, I'd do anything for fucking Pepe. You know who was good? I'll tell you who was good was my father. It was my last. I think he did my last fight because by then, it's over. And he did my last fight. It was a good fight, competitive fight, and God, he was good, man, because he never even raised his voice. I didn't even recognize him as my father. It was so business, and it was because I don't like excitement. I don't want to get all crazy in a corner. And it was anyway. I forgot what the question was.
We was just talking about trainers and the benefits of, how did they benefit you. But we could go to like who were some of your favorite fighters coming up?
I liked Alexis Arguello because he was so fucking dangerous. Yet he was, he was just the mildest mannered gentleman. And I was at a fight in New York, and this guy who was hot at the time, he was a big name at the time, Alexis Arguello again. He's standing there, and there's all these people around him, and he sees me with a book over in the corner. I can't get to, and he like parts the way for me to come and talk to him. And he was just such a nice man. And all this fury and rage in him. And on the street, he's just, he's how I would teach my son to be.
Yeah. Like a gentle giant.
Now we go to the other extreme. As far as I'm concerned, Roberto Duran's the fucking greatest fighter in history. I know Ray Robinson is, but I love Roberto Duran. He is Kaiser Soze almost. He's dark. He's dark, and he's scary. He's a scary guy.
And how tall was he? 5'6", wasn't he?
Hey, he was a midget. I don't know how he did this shit. I don't know how he did it.
Right, man. He's 5'6".
Nice.
I don't know
like
how
middleweight. Then he went to light heavy, didn't he?
Drop in middleweight. He dropped
Exactly,
Mark. Shit.
Damn.
They didn't give a shit about no weight.
Nah, man. The height and weight, that shit didn't matter back then, man.
Yeah, he just was like, let's fight.
He was special,
I don't care.
man.
He was a fighter.
Damn right.
Straight fighter. And how would you describe yourself as a fighter?
Very typical, middle of the road. A lot of heart. Hey, typical white boy. We're known for everybody. Oh, you got to beat him up. You got to take his body because he's going to have heart and he's going to be in shape. I always had heart and I was always in shape. I didn't work at the technique, at the fundamentals like I should have to be as great as I could have been. I made it to a certain level that's it's impressive for a regular guy, but I never made it into the top echelon. And I look back and I say, it's for lack of work. If it's that simple, you get in the fucking gym and you make it happen. Because I had every opportunity. So that's the way it goes. But honest answer, there's an honest answer.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, man. Jimmy, man, one thing about you, man. I remember watching you. How was that experience, man, being on the Contenders?
It was awesome. It was great. It was a reality show that was not realistic.
Right.
But it was real. It was the fights were real.
Yeah.
But to go out and pull a tractor on a night that you're going to have to fight and so on and so forth, and the weights and
the extras,
it was not realistic to what I was comfortable with, which tells you something about me. That's a big weakness. I was very routine oriented, and when you got me out of my routine, it screwed me up. And so I didn't fare very well on that show. And I was a favorite on that show.
Yeah.
I didn't do well. I was so out of my element. I was just so screwed up, and nothing went the way it should. And I harp on my kids to be like that, to not be so, I'm going to listen to my favorite song, and then I'm going to eat pizza, and then I'm going to do all these things that you're going to eat. You do eat and do and pray and all the shit. Sometimes you're not able to do that stuff. You can't let that fuck with your head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See, man, I observe your your social media presence, right? Believe it or not, man, I damn near agree with half the shit, like 90% of the shit you say, man. politically, you know.
I don't talk too much political.
Now you used to slightly, you know, and most of it I'm on your side with most of that, man.
Listen, nothing's worse than a fucking sore loser, okay?
Right.
I ran my mouth about Trump. He lost,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna get the fuck out of the ring. I ain't gonna keep talking shit.
Right.
They stole the election. Well, guess what? I fucking think they did stole the election, but I ain't gonna be that
Right.
guy that fucking says that shit.
Yeah.
It's old. It's bullshit. You know?
Yeah. I'm speaking before the election. I'm speaking on the, you know, some of the political issues that was, you know, that was going on during that time. Before the election, I'm really on the same side, man, as far as that. I'm you know,
I'm
conservative.
You know, what the fuck? I'm towards them, in my opinion, conservative, whatever. Here's what it is. Leave me the fuck alone, and I'll leave you alone.
Right.
If we have to converse, there's something called the golden rule.
Right.
Treat your brother like you would have your brother treat you.
Real talk, man. Real talk.
Fuck else what do we really need? What else do we need?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if you want to have a fucking cut your dick or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I like, man. You was unfiltered. You didn't give a fuck what nobody thought about you when you on the air, when you on the thing. You stick to your guns. So
look, man. If someone can't deal with you because of your beliefs, well, they're not really your friend.
That's real talk.
I have extremely close friends that are a million fucking degrees the other way.
Right. Likewise.
And I love them.
Likewise. So
we're adults, aren't we?
That's real talk, man. So, man, what was your greatest accomplishment you feel as though you had in boxing?
I'm not a stats guy, so you hear the same shit. He's gonna say a certain title or whatever. I'm gonna tell you an experience. I'll give you a couple that I put right the same. I fought a tough guy, talked a lot of shit. I was a little bit scared of him. Named Joe Wyatt.
Okay.
Tough son of a bitch. Okay, we're both cut pretty bad. Because I never got no home. Believe it or not, I never got no home cooking at George Mason, even though I probably should have.
Yeah.
But I might have been losing. You know, I know I had to win the last round.
Yeah.
We're all fucking bloody and everything. And countdown. I can't catch this guy. Counting down. Everybody's standing on their feet. 2 seconds left. I drop this guy and knock him out.
Damn. Yeah.
Now, that's a memory that no one on the planet, it doesn't matter what I become, or no one can ever take that away from me.
Yeah.
That's an accomplishment.
Damn right. The comeback story.
It's, you know, it.
Drop.
Yeah.
There you go.
Salute Lou. Live light skinned Lou in the building.
Sorry about that.
It's all good.
All good.
What were we talking about?
The guy you dropped.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't put a price on that on those kind of memories. So, I won the WBU. If you want to say my biggest accomplishment, I won the WBU title, I think in 2010.
Okay.
Pretty awesome. But
damn right.
But would I trade that for that knockout? No.
So yeah, Lou, I just asked that. Just literally asked that question, brother. Just literally asked that question. He asked the same question.
What's that?
What was your biggest accomplishment? That was his game. Yeah. So how was that fight between you and local rivalry, Tony Jetta?
Tony.
Ugh,
How did you feel before that fight took place?
and I got sour fucking grapes for Tony Jenner,
Mhm.
but only because he beat me,
Yeah,
and I got to live with that, man. That's a bitch.
yeah,
Because in my opinion, see, I don't have the right to say this now because I lost to him, but in my opinion, a few years earlier, the fight's over in 3-4 rounds.
yeah,
But we'll never know, and that's good on him. The guy was a class act, little dirty, not as dirty as me,
yeah.
but I disagreed with how the first fight was scored. What more can you say, man?
Man,
The
we
guy's a
had
class act.
yeah, we had him on here literally about 3 weeks ago, and he talked about how much respect he had for you, and how when his wife thought he was crazy for taking the fight, because how good you was and how he was like, I want to fight him, talking about you at the time. And man, had nothing but great words to say about you, man. Nothing but respect and
Listen, he was smart as shit. Of
yeah,
course, fight me. I was. Now this is where I hate to sound like this, but it's true. I can speak the truth. I was fucking finished. I got my legs didn't work anymore.
okay,
You know, and that was a perfect time. That was a smart thing. I
yeah,
mean, believe me, I'm not putting myself on this level, but that's the same thing Ray did to Hagler.
yeah. And
He waited his ass out.
and we don't get that no more. Like in this time, if you go to any of these pros fight, I don't know when the last time you've been to fights, Jimmy. You don't see guys challenge another local legend like such to happen like that. Like two
Right.
guys locally from the area putting it all on the line. That doesn't take place. Like I think probably y'all was probably the last of that, where two local guys, man, I want to fight him for the crown around this area. Because back then you had to prove yourself here before you can go anywhere.
Well, definitely now, and I think back then there's a lot of fights that should have been made that weren't.
Yeah.
I mean, I should have fought Daryl Coley.
Okay. That would have been, yeah.
Why didn't I fight Daryl Coley?
Wow. You asked for that?
Because I asked for it, Daryl asked for it, my father asked for it, Daryl's people asked for it. Now tell me why it didn't get done. Because
Wow.
one of those four didn't want that money.
Didn't want it to happen. That
But
would
we
have
ain't
sold.
talking big money. We're talking, we're not even
We
talking big
talking
money.
supremacy, man. Primacy of the area. Yeah. So man,
there was no other welterweights around there, but Daryl and I should have fought, and I really Daryl taught me a lot of stuff, and I really care about Daryl, but
yeah.
the fuck we didn't fight for. If we're making this run as a DC and
Yeah.
DMV and so on and so forth, and I put Virginia on the map, then fucking let's fight.
Yeah. Yeah. So give me some experiences, man, with you in sparring. Who was some guys that gave you some problems, or you gave some problems to in some
Sparring.
sparring matching, man,
Wow.
and some sparring sessions.
All right, don't let me forget. I'm gonna go around them all. All right, Andrew Council. I never fucking liked Andrew Council, and my son told me, he said, "I'm gonna go train with Andrew Council." I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
He said, "What do you think of him? What do you think of him?" I said, "I think he was a guy who probably didn't go as far as he should have. I don't know why. He was championship material. He knows his shit."
Yeah.
I said, "I never fucking liked him." He's like, "Okay," and he went with him. And later he asked me why I didn't like Andrew, and I had to think of it. I said, "You know why I didn't like him? Because he was the only one of them guys that fucking didn't even pay attention to me even a little bit."
Okay.
Like and all that means is he was quiet.
Yeah, he laid back, man.
But
He is, yeah.
he was just quiet, and I took his quiet for being an asshole.
Yeah. He just laid back.
He just laid back, and I will say he He knocked the shit out of me one time with an uppercut, knocked me down.
Yeah. He had one of the most vicious uppercuts I've ever saw, man.
Fuck.
He hit you with 4 and 5 of them at a time,
Yeah,
if you could.
it was,
man.
it was one of them uppercuts. Yeah, it was one of them falls. It wasn't like he just put me on my ass. You know them Jerry Cooney falls where the arms go up, and you sprawl across the ring. It was one of them.
Wow.
Okay, Sean Bay. I had Sean Bay's number. Sean Bay clearly a much higher level than me.
Yeah.
But I seem to always have a good day against Sean Bay, and that would piss him off, and that would make me happy. And we got along. We were in Florida. We were in Vero Beach together, and we probably did we've probably sparred 500 rounds, 100 to 500 rounds, whatever.
Right.
And I'd say I handled him most of the time. We were talking about sparring. Fucking Joppy.
Joppy.
Who else was there around? Just around. Mickey Ward. He was
Mickey Ward.
Mickey Ward was a bitch. He just
imagine.
Fucking
I can imagine.
Pain in the ass. And I had never been hit with that body shot, and he hit me with about 3 times in the first day, and these guys are not fucking around. You go up and we go to Boston, and they're like, I got off the fucking plane and got in the ring to spar, Yeah. And and so he was hard. Now he fought Gotti. I never had trouble with Gotti. I was able to keep Gotti on the outside and box the shit out of him. Yep.
Man, you been there with the best of them, man. Damn.
Cotto, fucking forget about it. Cotto's too strong, too everything. I shouldn't have been in it.
Yeah,
Cotto hurt me to everywhere. He hurt me to the head, hurt me to the body, and they got me the fuck out of there. Shit, I don't know. There's a bunch of them.
Man, you've been in there with the best of the best, man.
Yeah. Hey, Bones, remember Bones Adams?
Yeah, I remember Bones Adams. Yes, indeed, man.
He was a white boy out of Kentucky. He was about 3 feet tall, left-handed.
Yeah.
And he come in and asked me if I want to move around. So, yeah, I'll fucking smack you around, you little fucking flea. And that little bastard beat the dog shit out of me. I think he's a 122-pounder. Yeah. And he hit me about fucking 500 times before I could put my hands up.
Damn.
Damn, he was a tough son of a bitch.
How do you feel about boxing today, man? The state of boxing today.
Too many fingers in the pot. It's too confusing. I'm not going to give you the answer because I don't have it, but when you look just next door and see the product that UFC is putting out, and UFC is not even trying to be exclusive. They want fight sports in general, to rise. The misconception of UFC doesn't like boxing, but that's bullshit. I think we don't have the fights. Obviously, the Crawford Spence fight. That's a lot of damage. That's a Hagler Hearns. Obviously, they're not on the level as but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's the same rivalry.
That's the best we fucking got. And these two assholes are gonna make us wait and wait.
Exactly.
I'm like, I done lost interest.
What are we fucking waiting for?
Right.
Right. I mean, we did have guys that fight. They talk and they were touting this guy Garcia as the next De La Hoya. De La Hoya blows Davis out of the fucking water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? De La, This kid came in, he was completely undisciplined,
Yeah.
and it was almost as if he didn't even have a true game plan. If he did, he didn't stick to it,
I
and
didn't
he
see one.
abandoned his jab
Yep.
against a guy who's
Just
known
short.
for giving away rounds.
Giving
Just take
away
those
rounds.
rounds. Take those
Right,
rounds.
right,
Take those
right.
rounds
Yeah.
all night long. The fight
Right.
ends and you win.
Mm-hmm.
You know. What was the question?
No, man, that was a question. The question was what's the state of boxing? But
What do you feel about the
you
state?
going right there, man. You still going into the direction.
Yeah, the heavyweights are fun, but I think they're almost over. We got to get some new ones.
Yeah.
The big guy with the Gypsy
Fury.
was
Yeah, that's a
great,
bad boy, man.
great for boxing.
Hell
Great
yeah.
for boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua, I think he's a fucking fairy. You know what I
Muscle
mean?
man.
Anybody that I just don't think he's got any grit in him. I shouldn't have said he's a fairy. He's not a fairy. I just don't. You know, I don't. There's no excitement there. He's. You know, I don't know. I'm not really interested in the Gypsy against the Ukrainian. It doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
The middle weights, you know, the middle part of the weights, the welterweights, middleweight, super, they got to take over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you think about the 135-pound weight class?
135.
Well, it's not bad. It's not bad because anything with promise is, you know, it's not all bad. But we got to start making fights. They got to come up.
Got to make the fights.
System.
Yeah.
Got to make the fights. Yeah.
So damn, I'm having a brain freeze. The fight that just happened between Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis sold for 1.4 million pay-per-view sales. Is that a sign that boxing we will support, the fans will support each other, will support the fighters if they make these fights? Is that a good sign to say that if they fight each other, the fans will be there to support it?
Boxing fans are the dumbest motherfuckers in the world. You could feed boxing fans shit over and over and over. Don't forget they're paying for this shit.
Yeah.
Now they pay for this shit over and over and over to pay with the promise of getting a bigger plate of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just fucking stop buying this shit. I don't know about numbers.
Yeah.
It was a big fight. It was very well publicized, and there was a lot of buzz for it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of buzz. I mean, the O'Connor got the same thing with Floyd. It was buzz, but it was a circus. People come out from the circus.
Yeah, that's what it is. I think it's more the fighters have to sell the fights as well. Like you get a lot of fights where it might be two good fighters, but they're not good market. You know, they're not good at marketing their sales or selling the fights.
That's what we said at the beginning of the show. It's not just being a fighter now. Now it's two jobs. It's being being able to promote yourself.
Yeah, you gotta have that dynamic as well.
No doubt.
Who was your I think you already said that. Who was your top fighter?
Favorite fighter.
Yeah.
And that changes by the seasonally because I get in different moods and watch different guys and so I love the sport. I love the sport and I love the fighters that came before us.
I'm gonna end it with this right here, right? We get a lot of young up and coming fighters, man. That's tunes in to the show all the time. What advice would you give them to watch out for, or any business tips, any training tips, etc., to look out for in this sport? What should they be looking out for?
What should they be looking out for? What do you mean looking out for? Like,
I mean,
like,
what should they be?
Like, you're not suggesting that there's pitfalls in this sport for a young.
Exactly. I want them to know about the pitfalls, the downtime, as well as the good. What should they be watching out for?
You know,
To be worried about.
I'm going to sound like a broken drum, and this isn't even going to be that great of an answer, but you got to fucking keep your circle small. You keep your circle small. Don't trust every asshole that comes through and wants to tell you he's going to put you on a shoe and he's going to do this and he's going to do that. Keep it small. Keep it business, you know. Business and love don't really mesh.
Yeah.
You know? So your loyalties, they have to be business loyalties as well. You know, this friendship, and I've been with you since the beginning, and so on and so forth, and the people around, hundreds of great prospects, promising young men fighters have been ruined because of the company they keep.
Mm-hmm. True statement. True statement. Cease, you got anything?
I just want
to. As William Joppy would say, if you ain't right, get right.
That's right.
Now, I just want to ask one last thing: is to describe your relationship and as far as you working and mentoring the kids that you work with.
Sometimes I go into places where the kids are, and forgive me because I just don't know all the terms and everything. I'm not up with the whatever, but I just call them unfortunate kids.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You know? And you met and you fuck with them. You show them some attention. You tell them a little bit about yourself. You tell them a little bit about them, because that's what they really don't know is about themselves. You know?
Yeah.
And you just maybe out of 100 kids, you'll get a bond or something with a few of them, and you'll help some of them.
Yeah. How does that feel, like knowing that you're helping and influencing a young life? How does that feel?
I don't give a shit.
Like only Jimmy Lange would say, man.
Only words, and I'm telling you, man, you gonna get him or nothing else. Not no
I know that's right.
him or no impartial him. You gonna get him full-fledged, uncut, man. Hey, bro, it was an honor and a pleasure to have you on here, man.
I had a great time, man. Thank you.
Man, we do panels, right? And what we do is we have
call me.
Man,
I want to ask you, was I supposed to be on here before?
Yeah, this was on the DC Boxing Legend one. Yep.
And who fucked it up, me or you?
It was you on that
one. But and then did you call me on the phone to argue about the definition of a right cross?
Nah, that wasn't me. That probably was Ray. That probably was Ray.
It may not have been anybody you know. I'm just wondering. I'm trying to put the two together.
Nah, that wasn't me. It probably wasn't Ray either, because we do have those. We used to have those type of topics. Me, Ray, and the group.
I'm telling you, you say some shit on a podcast, or you write, or you do a thing.
Yeah.
People will fucking call you up to argue.
Yeah. Nah, that wasn't us. Nah, that wasn't even one of us then during that time. Then it wasn't even one, because if we had those type of debates, it would have been on the podcast, and we would have had it right there, and it would have been out there. So it wasn't you, not at all.
Hey, anytime I come on and have some fun, I'm up for it. So call me whatever.
We'll do, man, because you know what we do. We bring all the other fighters on here, and we kick the bobo, man. Yes, indeed, man.
I love it.
Yes, indeed. So we got some. Hopefully, those two guys, man, make it happen with Spence and Crawford. Hopefully. And that would be a great.
No, I don't give a shit.
That's what I said. I'm with you. I'm with you, Jim. I don't give a shit.
It's over. It's too late, you fucking assholes. I don't buy that.
They're gonna do it. What they remember we wanted to see Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis. Never happened.
Hey, let me ask you something. What's the best uppercut in boxing ever?
Ever? That's a good one. Oh man.
I'm sorry, heavyweight.
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 Lennox Lewis had a nice uppercut, but he was a jabber. Damn, hold on.
You said which one or who?
Who had the best
Like
uppercut?
who had the best uppercut?
Which fighter and who? That's the same fucking thing.
No, I was saying it could have been one fight or just somebody who just had one for their like career. Okay, I got you.
No. Yeah, who possessed the best uppercut? Riddick, Big Daddy Bo.
Oh yeah, Riddick did, because Riddick caught Holyfield with a vicious joint.
And Bruce Seldon and about every other fighter.
Riddick Bo uppercut. God damn.
Best heavyweight uppercut in the business.
Damn right, man. I remember he used to come up the gym all the time too.
He's a good man.
Good dude, man. Good dude.
Yeah.
So that would be we gonna bring topics like that. I see
them type ones we do.
With that. I like that, Jimmy. We definitely gonna set up something, brother, man. It's an honor to have you on here, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we have no other than DMV Boxing Legends own Jimmy Lange. Also, go to www.rawvegancoffee.com. Order your coffee now. Order your coffee now at rawvegancoffee.com. Jimmy, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, baby.
Have a good one now. Peace.
Peace.